Assalamu alaikum. Hello, this is Abbas with you, and I'm here at the Oman International Hospital once again with Dr. Carlos Portinha. I did it right again. And of course, we've met before. You were telling me about the machine. We have the doctor with us. But before we get into the science or the technical aspect of how you do it, or including your team, I want to know the history of Insparya. Okay. Basically, what inspired Insparya?
Okay, good question. So we started 15 years ago in Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, with a small clinic. And from the very beginning, we weren't happy with the solutions that the market offered for hair transplant.
Right.
So we needed to, since, as I told you at the very beginning, to find new solutions, new technology. So as we were expanding, we also created our research area. And actually, this is one of the things that make us different from all the other clinics and groups, is that we are the only group in the world that has both clinical and research group. And in the research group, we have two branches. One is the biomedical and the technological. This together with our own academy, because it's a so unique technique that we need to train our doctors and nurses in this technique. We call it the hair transplant by the Insparya method, because it's way different from it all. In these 15 years of experience.
And how long does one have to train to join Insparya?
Minimum, for a nurse, minimum 3 to 4 months.
Wow,
of course, it depends on each one's capacity and the ability to get the skills, but minimum that. And I can tell you that with in a 3 months training, our doctors, our nurses, after 3 months, they have around 60 hair transplants in their hands, which is amazing because some doctors, they don't do 60 hair transplants in a year. So imagine just during training. And this is also what makes our experts big experts in this area, because even the younger ones, they have lots of experience in their hands.
And I think in this field, that's what you need. You need on-hand experience. So while you're doing it, there's no way around it. I mean, you can read 10 books about it, but if you practice it, that's what makes you perfect.
What do you need? You need truth to the patients, telling them the truth and not selling them what is not viable of to do. You need an expert team of doctors, of nurses, and you need, of course, technology. And you need experience. And the experience of these 15 years, what does it bring to us? Nowadays, Insparya is a group with over 65,000 patients with hair transplant done. Of course, we have way more patients that we don't only do hair transplants. 65,000 hair transplants more than done, which is amazing. It's a record. Nobody. We can go to the Guinness Book of Records.
I know. Yes, 65,000 is a big number. Actually, when you talk about hair loss, it's not just the physical aspect of it. I think it also takes a toll on you emotionally.
Yes, true.
And I think as a doctor who's dealing with the patient in that condition, or with that condition rather, needs to also have an emotional understanding of their patient. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely correct. We always talk about that. Losing hair is a disease, because alopecia is the name of the disease. The baldness, the common baldness, is called androgenic alopecia. This is a disease, and it is a disease that causes other diseases. One of them,
I didn't know
lack of self-esteem. It's considered as a disease, and depression, anxiety, and this is very important, and people don't think about it. If you have an unprotected scalp, you have a scalp more prone to develop a skin cancer. So actually doing a hair transplant is prevention for the skin cancer.
Because it's your natural way of protecting your scalp.
Yes, true. So imagine this is, there are a multitude of situations implicated in the loss of hair. And of course, as you said, self-esteem and anxiety, depression are some of the important ones.
So is there like a particular age group that comes to you for consultation, or is it like all over the place?
Yes, of course.
There is an age group.
Yeah. Well, there is the most common age group, of course. Because, for instance, when you are around 20s, the males in general in the whole world, around 20 to 25% of males suffer for some kind of hair loss. When you're 35, we're talking already 35, 40. We're talking already about around 45 to 50% of the male patients
Wow.
suffering from hair loss. And when you reach 60s, 70s, we can go to over 80% of people suffering for some type of hair loss. Of course, it's not getting completely bald,
Gotcha.
but some type of hair loss.
And that's devastating as well when you run your hand through your hair and you see your hair falling.
Yes.
It's instant fear. Like you see that and you're like,
I can talk about my experience. I had a head full of hair.
oh yes.
Yes, I had a head full of hair since till I was around 30, and in 2 to 3 years I lost all my hair. This is all transplanted
And
hair.
this is all transplant, right?
All transplanted.
And is it with the help
Insparya.
of this machine as well?
Not yet, because it's absolutely new.
So you got it done and then you were like,
I
I need a better way of doing
course.
this and a faster, easier way and a more professional way of doing it.
That's it. I will give you an example. When we started, you know how many follicular units we harvested in one day? Around 1,000. Do you know how many we harvest today with this, if the patient needs it and if he has a good donor area?
Right.
Next to 5,000 follicular units. So in 15 years, we multiplied by 5 the number of follicular units in one day. Imagine what this is to our patients. In the past, they needed to do 5 hair transplants to get the result they get with 1. And this is absolutely unique.
And this machine also works with people who have lost all their hair. Like let's say they don't even have one strand of hair on their head.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So basically, it's better to prevent when you see
for you to do an hair transplant,
Right.
you need to have a donor area. If you don't have the donor area, which is the laterals and the back, then you can't do the donor area. That's why in Insparya we created our biomedical research to find, hopefully, the cure for baldness.
Right.
Our research is done at the cell level. So we're trying to create new therapies for the hair, so the patient never loses its hair. That's what we want for the future. Another thing is multiplying the follicular units in lab. So imagine if you don't have a good donor area, we take the follicles to the lab, we take the cells, we multiply the cells, and with this we can provide a neck transplant to a patient that doesn't have a very good donor area. But if you don't have this, maybe in the future we'll be able to use other stem cells to do the hair transplant, using other stem cells and making them create new follicular units. And I can tell you that the Insparya group is at the top of the biomedical research in this area. What do our patients get from this nowadays? Our treatments, our mesotherapy. It comes from our research. Our shampoos, they come from our research. We are about to launch a new line of treatments that come from our research and from our technological research. The other branch, what we want to do, we want to have a robot that will do the whole transplant, but to get to the robot, to this robot that will do extraction, analysis of the follicular unit, and the implantation of follicular unit. To get there, we need to create the brain of the robot, the eyes of the robot.
Would AI help? Like AI would be involved in this, I'm assuming.
Yes. And we need the tool that will be in the hand of the robot. And this tool is called Voltaire Ultra Plus, which is this.
I'm a little intimidated. I won't lie. I'm a little intimidated. I'm trying to put my hands up. Like,
no, you can touch it. It's very friendly. It's very friendly. And what does this does?
It looks very futuristic, in my opinion. It's got this blue light coming up.
It's the future today. This is the future today, and it's unique. Nobody in the world has this. This comes from our technological research done in Porto. We have our Insparya Science and Clinical Institute where we do all the research, and this is what comes out of technological research. Voltaire Ultra Plus.
I see start, I see tutorial, and I also see a video. It says video.
Yeah, the video is to teach the teams and to remind them how to assemble all the parts and everything. We, of course, to have this, we had to do a scientific study with patients to prove that this is what we say it is. And what does this do? This has an extraction tool. This is absolutely
It's like
in the
something
world.
I see at the dentist's office. If I mean,
Yeah,
it looks like it.
Yeah. What does this do? This device here, it's missing a tube that goes
Right,
here, but
okay.
I don't need it, just to show. So here we go to the scalp of the patient, we harvest follicular unit. The follicular unit is aspirated, it goes through a tube to this, which is filled with a preservation solution. So till harvesting to preservation, we don't touch the follicular unit.
As we're on the subject, doctor, sorry to
Yes.
interrupt.
Yeah, no.
But then if one gets the hair transplant done,
Yes.
is there a chance of the hair falling again?
No. Why? Because the hair from this area doesn't have the same genetic information. It's genetically different. People say, come on, it's all hair. How is it
Right.
different? Think about you and me.
Yes.
We have beard.
Yes.
Isn't this hair different from this one? And it's in continuity with this,
Right,
and it's
right.
different. And 3 to 4 fingers to the center, we have the eyebrows.
Yes.
Completely different hair, and all in the face. And some 1 centimeter down,
We've
we
got
have the eyelids.
yeah.
Absolutely different hair, and it's all in your face. Not talking about nose hairs, ear hairs, and everything. We don't want to talk about that because we don't like.
I'm not going to show that on camera right now. I'm not that comfortable, so we're going to keep the nose hair and
And
everything.
you have the rest of the body hairs,
Wow.
which are different. So it's all hair, but with genetic differences. And in fact, there is a genetic difference between the hair from the sides and the back, and that's this advantage, the resistance to airfall that we use. And since it is a part of the follicular unit, when
Right.
we move it, it keeps its identity. It's
Right.
like if I take a kidney, my kidney will always be my kidney. It won't change because it
Right.
goes to another body.
Right, right,
It's
right.
the same. This is not is not a transplant from one person to the other. It's an auto transplant, but it preserves its characteristics of not falling. So just to go back quickly here. So what do? We harvest follicular unit, we collect and we preserve without touching it. This gives
Right.
us a survival rate of over 99%, which is wow.
It is wow indeed.
Wow.
And 1% is just for doubt. You know,
Yes,
there's
of course.
always
I can tell you,
1%.
I can tell you that our numbers go to 99.9, but I'd rather tell 99.
That's what my hand wash says in the toilet. It
Yes.
says 99.99. That 0.1%
Yes.
is always there.
In Insparya, we are always like this. We prefer lowering the expectations of the patients and giving their a better result. For instance,
I agree.
For instance, our biggest hair transplant, what we sell to the patients, we say the patients, the biggest one. Imagine that you need lots of hair, and we say, we'll do you an Insparya method hair transplant, and we'll harvest 3.5 to 4,000 follicular units. We say this because we are sure that we will transplant that.
Right.
But if we need, and if we can harvest 5,000, we don't stop in the number.
Got you.
So some other places, they do the other way around. They
promise you-
more and they give you less. Here we promise what we are sure that no matter what, we will be able to transplant, and if we can transplant more, we transplant more. So, but this device is not only harvesting, it does also the implantation, and this is the multi-implanter. It's not yet here in Oman because it's at the final stage of the clinical trials
Right.
in Portugal, in our institute, in our
Okay.
Insparya Science and Clinical Institute. But this is amazing. You know what this is here? This is like a revolver, but instead of bullets, it will be filled
I
with
see.
25 follicular units. You can see how little they are.
Yeah.
It will be filled with 25 follicular units, and they are charged there without touching with our hands. Nowadays, to do an hair transplant, we have the implanters, and you have to implant one by one the follicular unit, and you have to insert the follicular unit inside the implanter.
Right.
Here, you'll have 25 follicular units at a time without touching it to charge it, and our nurses put it inside this, and then our nurses and doctors are able to implant it in the heads of, of our patients. Advantages: better follicular units,
Right.
because we touch less,
Yes.
and a faster hair transplant.
Way of doing it.
Way faster. And this is Actually, this is, as I like to say, this is Insparya. Insparya is technology, innovation, difference, and this you can't see nowhere else. Nowhere else. And that's why I talk a lot, you see.
No, but I mean,
That's
by all means, by
That's
all
why
means.
this guy over here, in my
I was going to
opinion,
talk about him right
in
now.
my opinion, the best player in the world.
He is
That's
indeed.
why he opens his heart.
We're not trying to start a football war
No,
over
no,
here,
no.
like in the comments, like, no,
my
it's
opinion.
Messi, no, it's
my
Ronaldo,
opinion.
no, it's this. It's just his opinion. Ronaldo, and of course, we all know Ronaldo. Please go ahead, yes.
And that's why Ronaldo, he receives our patients here with the arms wide open,
Right,
with
yes.
Insparya in his hands. But that's why he received also our group in his projects. He always
Right.
wanted to invest in health, and when he thought about it, he looked after us because we did when he entered the group.
Have you met him, by the way?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
of
wow.
course. I have to. He's our partner. He's not.
Wow.
He's not a sponsor. He's our.
He's not
partner.
an ambassador. He's actually,
He
yeah.
owns 1/3 of the company.
Oh, wow.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So he's me.
Not
as,
bad, Ronaldo.
Me as chief clinical officer, of course, I have to know him.
Yes, yes,
I know,
that's brilliant.
I know.
That's
I know
brilliant.
all the people in Insparya. So that's why he received us with arms wide open, because he understood the difference. He understood he didn't want to invest in a clinic or a group of clinics. He wanted to invest in the future, in technology, in innovation. And Cristiano is who he is because he trains a lot. He doesn't stop.
I've seen that.
He does his best all the time. Insparya is this. We do our best all the time to give our patients the best we can. We never stop. We're never happy. We're always trying to be better and better and better and get another prize and another.
Right. But so what got you to Oman? What got you to this market? What made you go or say that, you know what, Oman is the country where we need to take Insparya? What sort of research went behind it?
Yeah.
So if you can tell me about it.
We already
that'd
had lots of Middle East patients
Right.
coming from Oman, coming from Saudi, coming from the Emirates, Dubai, and we thought, well, come on, we have the patients going to Europe to do their hair transplants. Since we are a company that can bring the same exact precision of a transplant to anywhere in the world, why don't we go and meet these patients next to where they are?
Right.
And here we found Oman as the perfect spot for our first clinic in the Middle East, because come on, I won't tell you what Oman is.
Exactly,
Oman is an
yeah.
amazing country.
It is indeed, yeah.
It's a very welcoming country.
Right.
You see smiles everywhere. It's a beautiful place. So it's an amazing place.
We're talking about your smile too, by the way. You
Yes,
watching right there?
true.
We like your smile too.
True. And it's a perfect place to bring our patients. So
Right.
if we have our patients looking for our treatments, we have this as an health tourism destination. And of course, we had the opportunity of joining the OIH, the Oman International
Right.
Hospital, which is co-owned by a Portuguese group. We are happy to meet, and the conditions to open a new clinic in an amazing country
Right.
came to us, and here we are. And I believe it will be a huge success.
Inshallah.
I can tell you, we have today. In my front, there's the hair transplant. You can see
I can see all the rooms right behind the camera.
Yeah.
And also big shout out to our cameraman right there who's been waving his arms so the lights don't go off because of the sensor.
True.
Thank you, Amr. We appreciate that, man.
And we have the hair transplant rooms. There at your right, there's the second hair transplant room, and we have transplants going on right now. So heads full of hair will exit these rooms in the end.
And it's changing lives, of course. It's a big confidence booster for someone who doesn't have hair or has that problem where, they have hair fall.
Yes.
And then, like you said, once you get it done, it doesn't even fall that
it doesn't
easily. So it stays on your head,
Yes, and-
which is awesome. It's like a one-time solution that you go for. So as we're on the subject, I know we've been talking a lot about this because that's the purpose of this interview. But let's get down to the side effects. Are there any side effects that the patient needs to look forward to, or be prepared for?
No side effects expected. When you do an hair transplant with the Insparya method,
Right.
even the question of draining the anesthesia is not a big problem. We always say the patients for the first 3 days to if they can to stay at home resting, so they have the bit of the swelling they can have better drained.
Right.
We do the first wash at the 4th day here at my left in another room.
In the
First
fourth
wash
day,
is done at the 4th day.
And generally with conventional hair transplant treatment, how long does one have to wait before they can wash their hair or wash their head?
Well, usually it's more or less the same.
Right.
It depends on the technique you use.
Got you. All right.
The thing is, we like to do the hair transplant inside our clinics, so we can teach the patients. We always have a very close relation with our patients. For instance, we follow up our patients after the hair transplant for 18 months.
Oh,
and it's all
wow.
included in the price. They don't pay anything more.
Oh,
the
wow.
price includes it all.
My parents don't follow up with me that much. 18 months, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow, that's very kind. And actually, as a matter of fact, I did meet your team. I met a couple of people and everyone seems very warm, just like Mr. Carlos. Like, I don't even feel like this is an interview. It feels like I'm sitting with a friend just with a mic on. And of course, it's been...
You're already a friend.
We exchange WhatsApp numbers, so I'll be sending you good morning messages now. You know, with the pigeon and the moon and the foggy glass. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Carlos. It was a pure pleasure.
Pleasure.
Again, meeting you again, as a matter of fact. This is the second time we met.
the second
And yes, if you have any sort of hair fall problem, you know where to be. Oman International Hospital, right here at the Insparya Clinic. They have all the solutions that you need. Just come here, have a word with one of their doctors, and I'm very sure they'll be able to guide you.
Let me just say,
Sure,
the doors are always open for you, for Times of Oman, of course.
Shukran.
For
Shukran.
all your viewers, I say our viewers already.
Of course, you're part of the team.
This is the way we work, with doors wide open, because we like to show who we are. We don't hide anything. We like to show what we do, because we know what we do the best way possible.
Right.
So feel welcome to visit us, to come here for a consultation. And
timings that people need to know. Timings that people need to know when they can come here to the Insparya Clinic.
Sorry, I didn't.
The timings, like
The timings we are open from 8 to 9 p.m. 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh wow!
For consultations. People just have to give us a call,
right?
Book the consultation, and we'll be here.
For someone working 13 hours a day, you look very fresh.
No, we have several.
Of course.
But I work 13 hours a day.
I'm very sure. Medical field is not easy. Thank you so much, Dr. Carlos.
You're welcome. Shukran.
Pleasure talking to you, and I'll see you inshallah soon.
Inshallah.